There we go. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy payday. It's Tuesday, October 19th. Vegas is this week. Woohoo. For those of you going, I was just saying pack a jacket. It's like 50s at night. So it's chilly. Even though you're in the desert, it gets kind of colder in the desert at night. So pack warm. Um, and it's like the air inside it gets chilly too, so just an FYI. I cannot believe it's October 19th already. It is so crazy. Christmas is going to be here before we blink an eye, and then it's going to be the New Year's, and everything we do right now till the end of the year is going to dictate how we start off our 2022 and the biggest months in this business. So hopefully you guys are getting ready and prepared for that. And, if you hibernated a little bit for the summer, hopefully you're coming out of hibernation and getting your groove back. I know I did. And I'm so excited because every single week we have this Zoom, and it's something that gives me excitement. It gives my business life. It's a way I self-develop every week. And it's just so cool that we get to hear from different 80Ks and 200Ks in the company. And I want to start off the Zoom today, and I'm going to end it the same way, but I want to start it off by saying, if you're an 80K or a 200K, and I haven't interviewed you yet, I would love to get you on my schedule before the end of the year. If you could message me, that would be freaking amazing. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. I want to get you on this Zoom. Or if I haven't interviewed you in over a year, can you message me? Let's get you on the schedule. Is everybody else hearing? Okay, good. I think I should be good everywhere else. Okay. So today I'm super, super, super excited. We're interviewing an amazing, awesome, wonderful, beautiful lady, Jennifer Redwine. If you guys don't know who Jennifer is, you're about to hear her story today. Her story is so powerful. And if you're anything like me, you are going to feel this calm because she's such a calm soul. And she just kind of puts everybody at ease. And I love the way this lady thinks. Like, she always has a positive attitude. Like, it's the attitude you need to be successful in a business like this. And I've been working with Jennifer for a couple years now, and she is one of the most level-headed people ever, but she never gets worked up, and she's always, in my opinion, has the same excitement today that she did when she started this business, and that is so rare. But I think it's one of the keys to her success. So I'm super, super excited for you guys to hear from her today and hear her story. Jennifer, we're going to jump right in, and I want everybody to get to know who you are. So I want to start, long before this business. Like, what was your life like, and what were you doing, and how did you get involved, and how did you find Lavelle, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sounds good to me. Wow. I might as well just end it right here with that introduction, because I'll just live up to that. So hey everybody. I had thought about so I'm in the 12-step program because I'm a recovering addict. And I was like, well, I'll just treat it exactly like a 12-step meeting, what it was like before, what it's like now, or what happened to get me to this spot, and what it's like today. And I'd like to add to that, as well as what I hope for the future. So I'll start off saying, once upon a time in a land far, far, no, okay, wrong fairy tale. But the trip is that this whole get down to me does kind of feel like a fairy tale, because obviously I've had a lot of experiences, and I'm 61, so I have a few experiences, and whenever things seem too good to be true, you already know they're too good to be true, except for this. And so even after I had started thriving and I was thinking, dude, this cannot last. This is like way over the top, um, not reality. So I've been pleasantly surprised that I just celebrated my 2 years as being a promoter on the, I think it was the 9th of this month. And, for those of you that have just started, let me tell you, don't wait for the other shoe to drop, because yeah, it just keeps getting better and better. So also another thing when I was thinking about is when Lisa had asked me to share, I was like, yeah, cool. And then I thought, oh my God, week after week of twins team. And then I have to follow up after them. So I typically, I've learned over the years, I don't uh, compare myself to others, because I already know that we all have our own strengths. We all have our own stuff to bring to the table. But dude, twins team? So with that being said, here we go. So what it was like prior to Thrive. Well, like I said, I've only found this stuff, a little over 2 years ago. So there was 59 years of before Thrive. Too bad this stuff wasn't around a lot longer than a decade ago. But I feel lucky that it's around now. So what it was like, I was born way back in 1960. I know it's a trip is because whenever, I'd hear people saying that they were like in their 40s or 50s or even 60s, I'm like, man, I'm old farts. And now it's a trip that I am an old fart. And being the age that I am right now, and to feel better than I have in my whole life, wow, that's like a huge statement. And so that's just a testimony to this stuff. I grew up in I don't know, I'm gonna say a regular old family, but mom, dad, uh, older brother, younger sister. And my memory is so shot out. Like I have little snippets of my childhood and even in my adulthood, but I think it was 26 years of doing drugs and alcohol that kind of did that to me. So I I don't have a whole lot of memories of my childhood, but what I do remember is, like as a family, we sat down every night for dinner and blah, blah, blah. As I got older, my parents divorced when I was 15. I, came to see that, well, I guess there was a few chinks in the old armor. Dad was an alcoholic, but one of those alcoholics that went to work every day. I don't recall ever seeing them, scream and fight or any kind of crazy stuff. Just, he liked his beer. So, boy, once that divorce came about, man, oh man, there it went. I had already been drinking and smoking weed for like a year before that happened. And then I moved to Sacramento with my dad, single dad, wow, keg parties every weekend with the old pops. And I mean, wow. So now I look back on that and I'm like, man, I can't even imagine, doing that with my children. And so all I know is that my parents did the best they could with what they had, which, their upbringing wasn't, stellar. So I say all that to say that for many years, 26 years to be exact, I lived in the darkness. And so I think that's why like a lot of stuff for me today is all light, because even when it's bad, it ain't that bad comparatively to what it was like for a quarter of a century, basically. I had have 4 kids, and as you can imagine, if you've had anybody in your family or friends or maybe even yourself been in active addiction, you know that the best choices are not made. So my whole life was kind of like I was always painting myself into a corner and being like, wow, how did I get here once again? And trying to, I remember jumping out of my apartment window with my kids in the middle of the night just to escape the landlord and having to pay the rent. That's the kind of stuff that I dragged my kids through. Crazy, crazy, because I was definitely not raised like that, even, prior to the divorce. But that's just goes to show you when substance use gets involved, that man, oh man. So what ended up happening is that, uh, after all those years and years, my kids, I always say, I started off saying, well, my kids got taken from me. No, I basically gave them away. And so they got thrown into foster care. Uh, and for a lot of people, that's enough for them to say, whoa, whoa, it's time to really get my act together and do something different. And for me, it was, oh no, and jumped even deeper into that darkness. And I stayed there for a couple more years. So what ended up happening was that on my 40th birthday, way back in the year 2000, I was basically homeless, living here in Oroville, California. And I got a call from my brother, my younger brother, and he said, I'd like to come and see you on your birthday. He lived in the Bay Area. And I was like, sure, brother. And me and him used to run a muck together. He's also addict, alcoholic. So he told me I got clean and found another way of life. And I'm like thinking, yeah, right. If you got clean, it's just to scam the courts or to scam something, because yeah, there's no way. So when he walked in the house and I saw him, I was like, whoa, because there was obviously something different about him. He had gained a few pounds. There's a dead giveaway right there. But there was also just something about him that I knew that something had transpired. However, I was still deep into it and wasn't really letting it sink in that he had found another way of life for us. So fast forward a couple months, and he sent me a bus ticket. Yeah, way back then, it took a Greyhound bus. Oh my God, to San Francisco, and then checked myself into rehab. And so, how awesome that my little brother was able to guide me into the light, basically. And I'd like to say that I have 21. Oh, next month I was supposed to have had 21 years clean, but I ended up relapsing when I had like 3.5 years clean. Fortunately, only for one day. So today I have 17 years clean. And the whole get down about that was that, wow, relationships were restored, back in my kids' lives. Finally, at 40 years old, rebuilding a life. You know, I hadn't had really, I had a million jobs prior to getting clean. So, I started, getting jobs. I started working in the field of recovery myself, and life started to get a lot better. And there was only one thing that was a big missing piece, and that was my physical, feeling really good physically, because with the getting clean, I found a new drug, and that was good old sugar and basically crap food. So, I gained probably, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds, something crazy like that. And so even though life was really good in all other areas of my life, just the whole lugging around all that extra weight, and a big part of it too was the countless failed attempts at doing something about it. Like I would always yeah, I don't know how much money I've put out on gym memberships. That's crazy. Like I'd be, yes, this time I'm going to do it. And I would be all gung ho and I'd go to the gym, maybe, maybe 2 or 3 times. Terrible. Uh, but to actually have the motivation to get up, get those gym clothes on, drive to the gym, bleh, yeah, no. And so that would keep me in that cycle. I had a little bit of success with um, not Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers. But I never stuck with anything that long. So the mere fact that I'm still thriving since August of 2019, true testimony to what this stuff does. I was one of those people that was always, you know what? I'm going to start on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah. Now I'm going to start on the 15th. I'm going to start on my birthday. Oh, New Year's Day. That sounds like a good day to start. No, I might have started on that day, but 20 minutes into it, bam, there it goes. So that was not, yeah. And so I think that also just kept me in the whole loop of, well, why even start? Because you know that you're just gonna, not follow through. This is not gonna work, and blah blah blah. And so it did keep me in that loop. And then the depression, comes on about. I'm not saying all fat people are depressed, but for me, it was I mean, can you imagine? Well, I mean, some of you probably can, picking up a 50-pound sack of potatoes. That's a lot of friggin' weight. And so it was just the whole, I don't know, just feeling defeated, I think, was a big part of it. And so what happened was that I had moved back because I moved to the Bay Area to get clean. I stayed there, blah, blah, for a few years and was working at the rehab that I had went through. And so I decided to move back to Oroville because that's where a couple of my kids were. And one of them was his wife was having a baby. So I was like, man, I gotta get into action and get acquainted with these. We had a relationship back with the adult kids, but grandkids are a whole nother level. So when I had moved back to Oroville and went to school and to be a drug and alcohol counselor, and I did that it was 2010. I got certified, and how awesome, that this old dope fiend was able to have some kind of measure of success. I got to work at behavioral health, was the Butte County drug court counselor, and just, I mean, feeling really good about all that. But again, there's the old weight lugging around. And so that was always like, kind of like the monkey on my back. You get rid of all the addiction stuff and you still have something. So I had went to a community meeting one time. I don't know how long ago it was, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And I saw the cutest couple that were at the meeting. And one would sit on one side of the table and the other one would sit on the other side of the table. And I remember thinking, I don't think they were allowed to talk to each other. Maybe they were in some kind of program or something. I don't know. But so I just remember, I didn't like really talk to them other than, hey, how's it going? But they stuck with me just because you could see the adoration in each other's eyes. And so it just became to be, like, sometimes you run across people where you're like, man, I wonder what happened to that person, from whatever, but you don't really give it that much thought because you're not friends. So August of 2019, I was on Facebook and I saw this post, and it was that lady that I had seen at the meeting in the past. And she had said, hey, I got locked out of my old Facebook. If you want to be friends, go ahead and friend request me because I'm having to start all over, basically. So I was thinking, wow, there's something different about her. She looked different, and couldn't put really my finger on it because I didn't know her. But I did see that she was wearing some kind of sticker patch on her upper chest. And my initial thought was, wow, that's kind of weird. Why is she like wearing a nicotine or a birth control patch where everybody can see it? And so nosy. And so that's the best thing, nosy people. So I went and friend requested her and we started chatting. And I don't remember because my memory is sucks. I don't remember if it was that day. It probably was because she was telling me about Thrive, basically. And so what do you know? I was at that point of desperation that I was like, take my money. There was no like little 3-day mini experience. There was none of that. I couldn't even get I was one of those where my debit or credit card, I couldn't get it to work. And so not even really knowing this lady, I gave her my credit card information, and she was able to order me the 4-week experience. And wow, that was I think I got it on August 6th of 2019, and I don't think that I've missed a day since then. You know what's a trip too is that so since then, Lacey Wells was the lady with the weirdo patch on her chest, was she said that I was the only one that responded that day to her post. And so I was like, wow, fate for sure. That's just when all the, moon and stars and all that stuff align. And so boy, oh boy, what a ride since then. I want to read you this post. It came up in my Facebook memories yesterday, and I just busted out laughing. It's from 2 years ago. So it's right after I had probably a week or two after I pushed the promoter button. So I posted this. So I thought that if I referred friends to Thrive, I would just get my next box free. My friend Lacey, who turned me on to these crazy products, was telling me something about making bonuses too. Sorry, Lacey, but I wasn't really paying attention because I'm most definitely not a salesman. Turns out I just scored, I can't believe I put these prices in here, but I didn't know. Turns out I just scored $400 in cash, $100 in credits to buy products, and $134 in cash and commissions. Boy, you talk about breaking the rules right there. So in the first 2 weeks of being a promoter, I didn't even know what that meant. I guess I do now. Well, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I still don't know what I'm doing as far as promoting this stuff. I only know that I found what I've been looking for a long, long time. Ain't that the truth? With that being said, all this just fell in my lap. I can only imagine what people can do that are really motivated to get the 800 cash bonuses, the car payments, the trips. I'm not that motivated for all that. But if anybody else is that I know, hit my girl up. Oh my God. Woo. I saw that and thank God for Facebook memories because I would have never remembered posting that stuff. How hilarious. I sent it to Lacey because I was like, oh my God, wow. What a short what a drastic change 2 years can make. I had I had absolutely no interest in promoting this stuff because I just get on Facebook and goof around and stuff. But as far as I didn't even know what MLM was or stood for. So I say all that to say that you just never know. You just never know. You don't know, because the person that seems the least likely could be your next 200K. What? Um, I didn't understand anything about it, really. However, my passion for what these products had done for me was everything. Was everything. I mean, I was jumping up and down about it all. So I went 4K in less than 30 days. I think it was almost at the 30-day mark. And so this is how clueless I was, and still kind of am. I didn't know, I'm sure let Lacey told me all about it, but it just one ear, not the other. It was during a rank advancement bonus time 2 years ago. And so I hit that 4K, and so the next month I got that $500 bonus plus my commissions. I was like, woohoo, yeah. I thought that once I hit 12K, that I was going to get, $12,000 and on and on and on. I had no idea that it was going to end in 8 months. So I found out prior to the 8 months coming up naturally. But so I stayed. So also what I would do is, so it's funny now because now I have, like promoters that will kind of ask me the same questions over and over, or they'll do something that's kind of boneheaded, and I'm like, what? And then I think back, and I do remember this. As sketchy as my memory is, I do remember that I was that person to Lacey. Boy, I can just imagine what she was on the other end of that phone. She was probably like, "What the hell?" Uh, but I'm glad that she didn't tell me what a big dummy I was, because it's definitely paid off. I was that person where, like when you post something on your page about a new product or a contest or whatever it is, I didn't understand. And so whenever she would post something about, the new skincare or the new whatever, I would jump on there and say, yeah, I want to try that. And every time she'd have to message me and say, that's for new people. That's for new people. I'm like, oh. So yeah, she's definitely got the patience of a saint, or knows how to hold her tongue anyway. So I think about that now, and know that everybody finds their groove in their own time. The big deal is just, man, just show up, just be consistent. So once I started to grasp what was really going on, I hit 12K. I stayed 4K for about 5 months, I think. And I was sharing my passion for these products with friends and family, and that's basically how I was able to re-rank every time. And I had also always thought, because the Zooms obviously were going on at that time, and since I've gotten clean, I've always had 2 jobs, a full-time job and a part-time job. Most of all those years since 2000 to this year. And so I was one of those people that that whole 5 months that I was 4K, I didn't get on Zooms. I might have hit one every once in a while, but my mindset was, man, those are for other people. Those are for other people. The couple that I did pop on, I was like, okay, well, I think I heard that the last Zoom, so they must just be, regurgitating the same stuff every Zoom. So I'm like, that's for other people. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Well, keep doing what I'm doing was obviously stuck at 4K for 5 months. So once I kind of, I'm telling you what, I'm kind of a slow learner in some areas. So I hit 12K. Um, and so you know what it was is hitting the 12K and getting the auto bonus. I think that that really kind of kicked my I don't want to say my addictive side in, but it was because when I had tested, you know, those that color stuff, I was yellow. Because you know, I know that this is not it might not be great to say at group level, but I'm that person that uh gives away many experiences. And I know that we're supposed to put value on it. I know that with every fiber of my being, but I'm yellow. So, however, once I hit 12K, that red started kicking in. I was like, yeah, what? I'll take that $300 a month extra. And so that kind of fueled me to keep on rolling. So I I did that. 2 months later, 40K. What? But so then so even just hitting 40K, and then I'm talking about slow learner, it started to dawn on me, oh, it's all about the team underneath you. So I'm telling you, you know, that was that's like a year into it. And I'm like starting to, you know, grasp these things. And I'm like, okay, it's really time to start concentrating on building up a good solid team. And you know, it's like anything else. You just never know, because like I said, if Lacey would have just discounted me and, you know, shoved me off in the corner, basically, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now, probably. However, I know what it was. It was because she started to see me on every Zoom. She saw me showing up um, for whatever was going on. And so I see now how important that is when you see somebody on your team that is so consistent that you know, you'll put more work into them. It's just like, so I equate this a lot with because working in the field of recovery with clients, you know, you can lay all the material, all the educational stuff at their feet and bring it to the table. And if they grab hold, then yay, you know, and if they don't, then, you know, you're powerless. And same way I did with sponsees, going through the 12 steps, you know, I wanted recovery for everybody. However, you know, I finally learned that, you know, you cannot force somebody to do it. And so I have taken that into this arena as well. Obviously, all my promoters I'm going to work with and encourage, but the ones that are showing up, the ones that you can see are consistent, the, you know, you're really going to put in just even a little bit extra. And that's just the way it is, because, you know, I had so I stayed at 40K for about 5 months. And it was amazing because when they announced the other rank advancement bonus in January, um, I can remember everybody was super excited to get on that Zoom, because, you know, there was going to be a big announcement going on. And I don't know if Cassidy Cook is on here today, but me and her were messaging back. It's terrible. I was like, man, look at all these people. What are these so? Yeah, I was still clueless. And I was you know, 40K. And it was just this year. And I was like, wow, what is everybody jumping up and down for? Look at these people on the Zoom. They're crying. You know, what's going on? And so by the end of that Zoom, obviously I knew why people were crying, why they were jumping up and down, because it was more than just a rank advancement bonus. There was cherries on the top. So, bam, January of this year, I hit the 80K. Wow, wow. You talk about jumping up and down, because I knew that this was going to be a game changer. And then 2 months later, it was I think the rank advancement bonus thing ended, I forget, in April or something. Anyway, in March of this year, I hit the 200K. Wow, you talk about like, that was, I was like scratching my head. I was like, you barely even know what MLM means. You just hit 200K. Wow. And and so that just really fueled me. I went out and I don't know if it was that month or the next month, because I've been getting that auto bonus all this time. But I went out and said, you know what? I think I'm going to go and get that newer car, and get the instead of the $300, I'll get the $800. So I went out and got what, a BMW. Uh, oh my God. I at first I was like, you know how like when you get a different car, if you liked your old one, it's kind of like, it's hard to get used to. Anyway, wow, what a princess problem. I had to get used to driving a BMW. Stupid. And so my princess problem is that I don't know how to count. And so when I went and got that car this year, I was like, okay, it's the 2017. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I'll have that car through next year. What? You're supposed to count the 2017, 18, 19, 20, stupid. So my princess problem is I have to go back in January, early January, and what? I had to trade it in for a newer one. Wow. To be able to continue to get that auto bonus. So my life has just changed in so many ways, because now, even though I'm still overweight, I lost 40 pounds. Wow. I'm not lugging around that 40-pound sack of potatoes anymore. And finally, all the pieces of the puzzle have kind of come together. Because when you feel good physically, a lot of things come together. I had I had, during the years of being a counselor and or just life in general, I've had so many people in my life that that are not well physically. I have my first husband died when he was young, like 51, something like that. And then the father of my children passed away a few years ago at 52. I'm like, whoa. And then just over the years, like working in rehabs and stuff where people come in with all their medication, and I'm looking at this person, I'm like, wow, this person's like a decade younger than me. And the medical, physical issues are just way over the top. So every single day, I never lose sight of how lucky I am, because I don't have any, even at my old age, I don't have anything, knocking on wood. So every day I'm grateful that I get to wake up, I get to, I jump out of bed, I don't have any aches and pains. And I'm telling you what, Thrive is a big, big part of that. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, man, I'm just not really feeling this. I think I'm just gonna, throw the covers back over my head, and yeah, I'm not good. Let's just be an under the cover day. Take those capsules, and what I have loved about it, because I'm a meth addict, and so I was hesitant initially about taking a couple magic capsules. and having energy. I'm like, oh God. However, I was at that point of desperation and I trusted Lacey um, because she has a similar story. And so I took that chance and I'm so glad that I did because, you know, obviously it affects everybody's systems differently. But for me, it's never been, you know, like the over the top kind of energy, you know, that maybe some people experience. For me, it's been subtle. I remember the first time that I had kind of an aha moment with this stuff is that I would drive into my driveway at home and I would see this piece of trash, a paper stuck on this bush in the front yard. And every time I'd pull in the yard and say, you know, I really should grab that piece of paper. And then I'd just walk into the house. Well, after I started taking Thrive, I walked over there and just picked up that piece of trash. That sounds super trivial, but that's how it is for me. So one of those days when I want to stay under the covers, I will take step one and settle. Before I know it, I'm up puttering around and doing, you know, what needs to be done. And I'm like, ah, thank you, Thrive. Thank you, Thrive. Uh, you know what I've also loved is the stories over these last couple of years. Um, I have a really good friend, one of my best friends. She, it's probably been about a year and a half ago. Her husband died of while they were sleeping that night, and he was like 49 years old. And so for her to have to go through that, and she had already been doing Thrive probably, you know, months prior to that happening, and she swears that Thrive is what has gotten her through that, because she said in the darkness of the morning when she would be so scared and so grief stricken after she took the capsules, she would be feeling lighter. Wow. And for somebody that's not thriving, that sounds ridiculous. But for those of us that know, we know. And that's just one story. Amazing to me, amazing. I had another thing that has been a huge, huge surprise to me is the friendships. Because I don't know about you, but especially all those years that I was in my addiction, there was definitely no friendships going on. There might have been some acquaintances or some, you know, that's even too strong of a word, and definitely not too many with women. So trippy to me that this has been a whole new elevation, because there's because I mean, being in recovery and you know, like going to meetings and having a fellowship, that has brought me a lot of girlfriends and true friendships. Um, but this has taken it to another level. Lavelle, uh, dad jokes, because these are people from all walks of life. So like, you know, when you go to one of these lifestyle getaways, and you see the eclectic array of people, it's just, it blows my mind. And the people that I've met and the people that I've come to love on my team and my sidelines and uplines, downlines, is just, it makes me feel really grounded. And these are like lifetime friendships. You know, I can never see these people not being in my life. Um, it's amazing. I wanted to show you guys this. Where is it? So back when, I don't even remember when it was probably last year. I don't know if I was even 40. I might have been 40K. I got this package in the mail and I'm like, I wonder what the heck that is. And I opened it up. What? And I was like, it was from Lacey. And I was like, ah, she sent me a gag gift. How cute. I never, you know, I wasn't like being negative about it, but I did look at it as kind of like a gag gift because 200K, that's insane. Um, that's insane. So my, a lot of people talk about their whys, and you know, if your why doesn't make you cry, then better get you another why. Well, I know that the whys can change over time. You stick with this long enough. Mine has always kind of basically stayed the same, and that is, uh, in a nutshell, residual income. Uh, and to be totally transparent, I mean, I get the kind of the concept of residual income, but I don't know exactly how it works or how it's going to be um, in my life, but that's something I need to check out. Anyway, I have my 12th grandkid is on the way, and all of them, all those grandkids, um, have never seen old grandma loaded. Um, and I have made it a point to try to go to each one's birthdays. They're all over the United States. Uh, and just to be a positive influence in their lives. Because as you can imagine, my 4 kids, they didn't have the best childhood. And so even people that had the best childhood, some kind of turn out screwed up sometimes, but my kids really have a reason. And, you know, they have their kids, they're raising them and stuff, but I'm super honored that I get to be a positive role model. Boy, I never thought that would be in my description. So residual income. Can you imagine? It's hard. It's hard for me to even imagine it, but that is basically my why, is to leave something for my grandkids, my great grandkids, and however else that works. That's everything to me. Because for so many years, you know, wow, wow. You know, it's also been a surprise is because over the years, you know, I've worked the 12 steps. I haven't ever been to therapy, but I did a lot of self-development in that area. So you would think, you know, being before I started online marketing, which I didn't know anything about, I would have never thought that a huge part of it is self-development. What? Wow. And so to be able to be in like Lisa's self-development, is that what it was? No, self-love, here's my book, the self-love workbook last month. I figured I would just, you know, skim through it and, you know, it's just stuff I've already talked about. Um, no, no, it dug even deeper and it brought up other stuff that I had never thought about. I didn't think that was possible. So what it reaffirmed for me is that we're ever changing, hopefully. You know, the thoughts and the feelings that I had 5 years ago are changed today on some things. So we have to continue to work on ourselves. So we have to continue to grow, to not only be happy with ourselves, but to be able to help others along the way. And that's a big thing, is just, you know, helping others. You know what I always keep thinking about? And it's a trip to me, because a lot of people at my age, they might be winding down and thinking, well, you know, it's about time to get the old rocking chair out. And I'm like, woohoo, my best years are ahead of me. Dang, how amazing, Friggin' vitamins have done that for me. I never had a passport before. And so I went out and got one. I went to Cabo in February. I also went on my first team retreat with Lacey to Florida in February. Then we went to Puerto Vallarta, and whenever that was that June? And then before that, I went to the convention in Texas in April. And then I hosted my own team retreat in South Lake Tahoe in August. And then, and then, was it last month? We went to Utah for another team retreat with Lacey, and then go to Vegas on Thursday. I've never been to Vegas, so I'm kind of excited about that. And I don't gamble, I don't drink, but man, am I going to have fun. I got tickets to Jabberwockies. If you guys don't know, it's a hip hop dance group. They are bad. You know what? So the best years are ahead of me. So no financial statements and all that stuff. However, I retired from that really good county job in March. Friggin' vitamins. I'm free. I'm free. My son, it was amazing to hear him when I retired. He to see the kind of adoration in his eyes, because he was like, wow, Mom, none of my friends' parents are able to retire early. Or, they're probably good. And I always thought that was going to be my story, that I was just going to work 2 jobs till the day I croaked. But this has really been something. So I say all this stuff to say is, man, don't give up. Be consistent. And there's never, believe me, I'm a true testimony to this. There ain't no stupid questions. Well, they might be, but don't be afraid to ask them. Ask for clarification, because this is your business, yours. And that's the whole beauty of it. We get all this support. We get all this, and we don't have to pay nothing. We get paid in way more ways than one. I love this stuff. And you know what also? My husband has been locked up for the last 14 years. And we've been together 22 years. I go and pick him up after 14 years. I go pick him up in prison, from the prison, in about 2.5 weeks. Wow. You know what? He's going to be a good thriver promoter. Where else can he have his own business, make some money, and just got out of prison after doing 14 years? This is like over the top amazing to me. And what do you know, Lisa? I blabbed and blabbed, and you didn't have to do any work.
Hey, listen, I just have to tell you, I smiled this whole call. Like, I had a smile on my face the whole time, because, there's just a couple things. First of all, you're you. You're not me. You're not Chastity. You're not Lacey. You're not Michelle. You're you. And I think people really need to understand that you don't have to be a certain age. I met at our Toledo training, there was a lady there. She was, I believe in her 60s too. And, one of her things was, I just feel like because of my age, I can't do this. Because of my age, I won't be successful. And, I hope she's on today and watching this or listens to it, because I mean, age is a number, and you don't have to know all the things.
Thank God.
You just have to be excited. It's so funny because people will always ask me stuff about the cloud office, and I'm like, you're asking the wrong girl here. I'm never in my cloud office. Like, I go in there to see who's in the VIP period, to do my paycheck, and that's about it, because being in my cloud office doesn't make me money. What makes me money is telling my story, being out and about, making friends, meeting new people. I don't know all the technical stuff that a lot of other people know. I don't need to, though. I just need to be excited. And I think with everything about you, you are proving to so many people on here that you don't have to know every ingredient or even how you're getting paid. You know that you're getting that paycheck every week. And I also know that you've had ups and downs. I mean, in 2 years, you have, had when business seems great and sometimes it's not. We all go through that. And I think the thing that always stands out to me about you is you are always positive. Like, you are always grateful. And I think until you can always be positive and have a grateful heart for whatever your paycheck is on Tuesday, that's when you kind of have crossed the line into being in that place of gratefulness where good things just are going to keep coming your way, because it's just incredible. And I think that so many people, and I love how you compare a lot of Lavelle to, the 12-step process, and what you've learned in that arena, because it does apply here. In fact, I always say, I think the reason why we have so many successful recovering addicts on our team, and we do, like, our biggest teams that are growing and are super successful were once addicts. And I think it's because they're really the only people that have had self-development in a capacity before this journey started, with going through those 12 steps and having to look at themselves and, you know what I mean, understand why they do what they do. I just feel like your story is going to resonate with so many people, and everything that you've been through goes to show that you're not too old ever to turn it around. You were 40 when you decided to get clean. You're 60 when you decided to join Lavelle and retire early and be debt free. Like, that's nobody's story on here is dictated by an age, by experience, by anything else but you making the decision. And you have not let anything hold you back. And it's fun watching you grow too, because I remember you popping out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, so who's this Jennifer Redwine? Because you would be on Zooms. And I remember Lacey being like, oh, she's been in. Like, so I know that you weren't plugging in the beginning, but it's so funny how your journey, you went at your pace, and then you figured out these things along the way that I hope so many people really took note of. Like, getting on Zooms is important. Being part of the community is important. And I mean, I also think one of the coolest things ever is you take your business into your own hands. You threw a retreat for your team, which was amazing. Um, and I just think that there's a lot of people that are sitting back and waiting, right? They're waiting for everybody else to do it for them. And you're not. You're doing your own thing. I don't know. There's so many amazing things. And I just feel like everyone today that was on here needed to hear what you had to say. And I have a feeling this is going to be probably one of our most watched back Zooms, because there's going to be a lot of us sending this Zoom to a lot of people because they need to hear your story. And I always say the reason I think that I've become so successful is because I'm relatable. Um, I don't get on Zooms and my hair is not all cute. I might not have showered for 3 days and I'm like, what's up, people? Eh, I I'm just me. I'm not trying to be somebody else. And I think you're just you. You're not trying to be anybody else. And you've taken your excitement and what these products have done for you, and you just share your story. You just tell people. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have fallen in love with Jennifer like I have. I remember going to Lacey's last retreat, and I was telling Chas, oh my God, wait until you get to spend time with Jennifer. Like, she is the most awesome person. Like, after we left, Chas is like, oh my God, you are so right. I just love her. I could listen to her talk all day. Like, because you just make so much sense. Whether you're like me, you have a bad memory. Like, I can't remember anything. I'm like, what happened last week? But the thing is you have so much wisdom too. You've lived a lot of life, and it's so funny to me when I talk to you and you're like, oh, Lisa, it's not a big deal at all. I would have people with what happened last week. I would have had a leader in my inbox probably cussing me out. And I know you're like, who would do that? And I'm like, trust me, people, people do that. But your attitude with everything is like, dude, I've been through hard. Like, I always talk about that. Choose your hard. You've been through hard. Okay. You've been through losing your kids and leaving apartments in the middle of the night and having an addiction that controlled you. So anything that comes up in this business, you always say, dude, this is nothing. Oh well, we just keep going, because you know what hard looks like. And I just think that's such a testament to who you are. And it's just amazing. I don't know. I just smiled this whole Zoom. So I just want to thank you so much, Jennifer, and tell you I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. And it's people like you that give so many other people that courage to keep going. And it's also people like you that make everybody know they can do this too, because you don't have to have some crazy amazing past. You don't have to have experience in MLM. You can have issues in your life and things going on and stuff that you're not proud of. I know I did. And you can still get to wherever you want to go with Lavelle. And I think my aha moment was when you said, you're getting your husband from prison and he can do this business. Like, you're totally right. There's no limitations. Anybody can join Lavelle and grow a business and change their life if they want to. They just have to do it. So, man, I don't know. You were amazing. I just want to thank you so much for being on today. And I can't wait to see you in Vegas, girlfriend.
Woohoo! Thank
Can't
you.
wait. Thanks, honey. And to you guys, we just got paid, everybody. 3 minutes ago, paycheck. Be so grateful. Don't forget to post your payday post. I like Tuesdays. There's rarely a Tuesday where someone doesn't reach out to me from one of my posts when I say, thanks to the groceries in my fridge or gas in my car for a full week or just little things. That's what people need in their lives. And I usually get some kind of message. So payday posts are powerful. Don't forget to put it in your stories, on your timeline. Detox is coming this week. Vegas. I believe it's a neon party. Y'all, am I right? I have
Mhm.
no idea what I'm wearing. I just found out it was neon party yesterday. See, that's how much I don't plug in to that kind of stuff. So I guess I got to figure that out. But we are so excited to see everybody. My best advice to you guys, if you're getting to your first lifestyle getaway, is don't be shy. Go meet people. If you see Jennifer, go up. Oh my God, I heard you on the Zoom. Can we get a photo? Can we be Facebook friends? Like, don't be shy. While you're there, take advantage of the fact that you are around a bunch of people that are just like you. Same goals, same dreams, visions. They get it. They know exactly where you're at and they can be a support system for you. And not only that, but let me tell you what, my biggest, hugest times on social media where I get the most response from prospects is when I'm on trips, is when I'm with other people in this business posting pictures. Because most people's lives, like Jennifer said, before this business, she didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't either. Now it's like, oh my God, like look at this lady traveling all over with all these friends and all the fun she's having. Like, that is appealing to people. So don't forget to really be posting while you're there, sharing those moments and memories. And I just can't wait to meet you all. So if you see me, make sure you come up. Yeah, I'm gonna be mad if you don't. And I want to hug each of your necks. So oh my gosh, I love you guys. Happy Tuesday. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same link. And if you are an 80K or 200K, please message me. I want to get you on the schedule to interview you before the year ends. I promise you, someone needs to hear your story. You might not think it's a big story. You might not think it would make a difference. I promise you, your story matters and someone needs to hear it. So message me and let's get you on the schedule. Thank you guys. Thanks, Jennifer. Love
Mhm.
you.
Love you too.